Episode 11, The Last Days of October. The first light of the morning crept into the cottage, casting a soft golden glow over the worn wooden floors. Outside, the trees stood tall and bare, their branches swaying gently in the cool breeze. Most of the leaves had fallen now, blanketing the forest in a rich tapestry of reds, oranges, and browns, like the earth had wrapped itself in a warm quilt for the coming winter. The days had grown shorter, the air crisper, but to Ella, October still held onto its quiet magic, even as it drew to a close. Ella stood by the window, wrapped in her thick robe, the fabric soft and comforting against her skin. She cradled a mug of hot chocolate in her hands, the warmth seeping into her fingers as she watched the world outside slowly wake up. The steam rose in soft curls, carrying the sweet scent of cocoa and cinnamon into the air. She took a slow sip, letting the rich, creamy warmth spread through her, a small indulgence on this cool morning. The cottage was still, wrapped in the soft glow of early light and the fading embers of last night's fire. Rufus was already awake, stretching in front of the hearth before padding over to Ella's side, his golden fur brushing against her legs as he leaned into her, seeking affection. She smiled and knelt down, scratching behind his ears, his soft fur warm beneath her fingertips. Mabel, ever the late riser, remained curled up in her favorite spot by the window, her eyes still closed as she basked in the remnants of the night's warmth. The last days of October always felt bittersweet to Ella. She loved the transition of the seasons, the way the world shifted from the vibrant energy of summer into the slow, quiet pace of autumn. But there was something about this time of year, as October came to an end, that felt especially tender. It was a reminder of how quickly time moved, how each season, no matter how beautiful, eventually made way for the next. But Ella didn't dwell on the melancholy of it. Instead, she chose to savor these last days, to romanticize the simple beauty of the season before it slipped away. She moved slowly through the kitchen, setting her mug down on the table and lighting a few candles along the windowsill. The warm glow of the candles flickered softly, casting long shadows across the walls, making the room feel even cozier. She reached for a loaf of fresh bread, still warm from the oven, and sliced it carefully, the soft golden crust crackling under the knife. The scent of fresh bread filled the kitchen, mingling with the sweetness of the cocoa and the smoky remnants of the fire. It was these moments, quiet, unhurried, filled with warmth, that made her feel most at home. Ella buttered the slices of bread, the rich cream melting into the soft center, before adding a drizzle of honey and a sprinkle of sea salt. She sat at the kitchen table, the warmth of the food in front of her, and gazed out the window as morning light grew stronger. The world outside was quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. There was something soothing about the stillness, the way the day unfolded so gently, without the rush or expectation. Rufus had settled back by the fire, his eyes drooping as the warmth lulled him into a lazy nap. Mabel finally stirred, stretching her sleek body before hopping down from her perch to join him. The two of them curled up together, their soft breathing the only sound in the otherwise silent room. Ella smiled to herself, feeling a wave of contentment wash over her. It was in these simple, quiet moments that she felt the most connected to the world around her. After finishing her breakfast, Ella rose from the table and pulled on her favorite sweater, its soft, woolen threads wrapping her in warmth. She slipped into her boots, tugged a thick scarf around her, and stepped outside. The air was crisp and fresh, the kind that made her cheeks flush pink with moments of being outdoors. She breathed in deeply, the scent of damp leaves and wood smoke filling her lungs as she wandered toward her small path that led into the woods. The forest felt different now, quieter, more subdued. The vibrant colors of early October had faded into muted shades of brown and gold, and the earth beneath her feet was soft with fallen leaves. But there was beauty here still, in the way that life filtered through the bare branches, casting soft, dappled shadows on the ground. In the distance, she could hear the gentle trickle of a stream, its water glistening in the late autumn sun. Ella walked slowly, savoring the peace of the woods, the way the world seemed to hold its breath in this in-between time. Not quite fall, not yet winter. She found a small clearing where the sun broke through the trees, and she sat on a fallen log, her scarf pulled tightly around her as the breeze rustled the last few leaves clinging to the branches above. She watched as a single leaf, golden and delicate, broke free and drifted slowly to the ground. There was something mesmerizing about the way it floated, twisting and turning in the wind, before finally coming to rest among the others. It reminded her of the way life moved slowly, on its own time, full of grace, even in its transitions. As she sat there, Ella felt a deep sense of gratitude. The beauty of October, with its vibrant colors and cozy moments, had filled her days with joy. But there was also something comforting in the thought of what was to come. The first frost, the quiet of winter, the promise of new beginnings that always followed the turning of the seasons. Ella rose from the log, brushing the leaves from her boots as she made her way back to the cottage. The sun was beginning to set, casting a soft golden light over the landscape once more. The cottage came into view, smoke curling lazily from the chimney, the windows glowing with the soft light of the candles she had left burning inside. It was a scene that felt like home, that filled her with warmth from the inside out. As she stepped inside, the warmth of the fire greeted her, along with the soft sound of Rufus' snores and Mabel's gentle purring. Ella moved her scarf and sweater, settling back into the chair by the fire with her mug of hot chocolate, which had cooled just enough to sit. She took a slow, deliberate drink, the rich, sweet warmth spreading through her once more. The last day of October was nearly over, but Ella felt no sadness in its passing. She had learned to savor the beauty of each moment, to find joy in the small, simple things that filled her days. The quiet of the cottage, the soft glow of the fire, the company of her pets. It was enough. It was more than enough. And as the fire crackled softly and the night began to fall, Ella closed her eyes, feeling perfectly at peace with the world around her, grateful for the beauty of October and ready for whatever the next season would bring. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more short stories with Ava Z. Bienvi.